Brother Daniel.
What's going
Morning
on, my
to
brother?
what's going on, brother? But before I bring you up, man, let me say good afternoon to the hard driving soldiers out there. Let them kind of funnel in. Uh, we got a very special guest today. We got Brother Daniel, and he is going to drop some information on us today, some jewels. So you guys are wondering about how to get, you see what the deal is at the bottom of the screen, how to obtain unsecured business credit, business lines of credit. You want to learn how to do that. You're talking to a man that's got 30 something years in the business and an extensive team with him. And, if he can't answer your question, he definitely can get an answer for your question. So, you're talking to the right person. So I want all of y'all, if y'all interested in business, and all of us should be, especially in the black community, we all should be interested in business, even if you're working for somebody else. Nothing wrong with having a side business and getting that going. Next thing you know, your business is making more money than your, employer is giving you. So I've had that happen to me a couple of times. So that is a good situation to be in. So
Right.
anyway, let's listen to Brother Daniel. Let him explain what it is, what business lines of credit is, and why we would need them, and then he's going to go into his presentation. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about himself, and then he's going to go into his presentation. Brother D, the floor is yours, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir, brother C. First of all, I have a very diverse background. I come from a law enforcement community, so I've been with LA County Sheriff, Special Operations, DeKalb County Police in Atlanta, Special Operations. Went to FBI Academy, but my major stuff is I'm a network engineer and a computer programmer. But what I primarily focus on is commercial real estate and business loans. So I was a residential lender up until 1995. I shut that place down and focused on commercial real estate. But one of the main things that I saw was that there was a lack of either education or acknowledgement that there was something called working capital. People heard of it, but they didn't know how to get it, especially people that look like us. So the presentation that I'm going to give today is going to be very short, and I'm willing to answer any questions that anybody has. It's quite simple. Um, it will be based on your credit score. So if you have a very low credit score, we might have to revisit that and figure out how we're going to raise your score up so that you can qualify for these business loans that everybody else is getting and we're not hearing about. So I'm going to try to share my screen if I have the ability to do so. Give me 1 second. I'm a little bit new to Ustream. All right. So I'm not sure if everybody can see my screen.
No, no, we can't see you, Brother D.
Okay.
I when you let me see. Let me Yeah, no, we can't see your screen yet, brother.
All right. I don't know if I need permission.
No.
Okay. All right. Let me do this.
You hit the bottom share down there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is.
We had it working, folks. I don't know what happened.
Can you see it, Brother Clarence?
I cannot. When your screen shows up, it'll show up here, and then I'll be able to put it up. So
Okay.
you have to get it on your side first, and then it'll show up down here, and then I can put it up there. So I don't have anything here. while Brother Daniel's getting, oh, there we go. There we go, Brother D. I got it now. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So go ahead and put your presentation on there, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll.
All right. Can you see the presentation right now?
No, sir.
Uh-oh.
So you have to choose what you want to show. Not the whole screen, but you can choose to just share a file, or you can share what's on your screen or whatever.
All right. Let's go. Do you have it on your end?
I got it up. I got it up. You should be able to see what I'm looking at right now if you look at your screen.
All right. I'm gonna knock me down to stop sharing.
Okay.
And if you can navigate for me, then I will.
Okay. So let's go to share screen. You see down at the bottom it says share, right? With the plus, and it gives us two options: share screen, video file. We're gonna go with share screen, right?
Right.
Then it gives us the share screen tips, right? We're gonna click on share screen in blue. Now it's gonna give us a box that tells us choose what you want to share. It's give us three options: the entire screen, that's what you're doing now, the window, or Microsoft Edge or Chrome Edge or whatever you got out there, right? Okay, so you choose the window. My advice would be to choose the window that has your presentation on it. I don't know if it's on PowerPoint or whatever.
I got so many ducks. Can you see that now?
Not beautiful, man. You got it, brother. You got it. I see it. I remember that. Okay, there it is, man.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I already gave you a brief understanding of my background. It's much more than what you're going to see tonight. And hopefully, if Brother C allows me back on, I'll bring more knowledge to you guys.
So always.
Understand what's happening. First of all, my company's name is Cash Flow Enterprises. It's been around since the early 80s. We started out as a residential mortgage company where we did basically residential houses. We just went around, bought a bunch of houses and, rented them out. And I realized I should get into the commercial finance business, which is what I did probably about a year later. And I started funding businesses and as a commercial real estate broker. So that's pretty much what we do now. There's, like I said, there's a lot of other things that I'll go into at another time because it's such a broad field. We do residential financing if it's investment property and it's more than 4 properties. So that puts it in a commercial arena, which is our backyard. But all I want to talk about is working capital, unsecured business lines of credit today, because later on we'll do other shows. So I'm just going to scroll up and down, and you can kind of follow through.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you want to start a business or not? You want to start a business or not?
Exactly.
This man is on live. You need to go check him out right now.
So
you got it? Come on and check him out now. Brother Daniel talking about unsecured business right now.
Now, I'm going to have to speak up a little bit because I understand my audio is really down. So people need to understand the difference between unsecured and secured. Secured financing that means you're going to put your house up. You're going to put your real estate up. You're going to put your cars or your other assets up. We're talking about only thing we need is a 700 credit score, preferably higher than that, and you can get a loan based on your credit score. And you can get it in 7 to 15 days. And that's all we're looking for. We're not telling you to sell your car, sell your house. Okay. Um, but what you do need to understand is you need to have the ability to provide other financials if asked for, because the lender might ask you for a tax return, or they may just to show your income, because you need about $50,000 of verifiable income per year on top of your 700 plus credit score. Now, what does that mean? I don't have the 700 plus credit score. Can I still get unsecured credit? Yes, but your score is still going to be very close to that 700 margin, because we've done loans for people to have a 650, 680, you know, and a lot of these loans can be credit cards. Some of them can be term loans, and I'll explain the difference. So I'm going to scroll down. So you can get $300,000 if your credit score is like a 740, and get it in your bank account, wired to your account in 7 to 15 days. As long as the information you give us is correct, that's what's going to happen. You're not always going to get it right away. So you may get $100,000 now. You may get $50,000 2 months from now, and then another 150. They want you to have a track record, because this is unsecured. That means you're not putting your house up, you're not putting collateral. So what's happening is the lender is the one at risk, not you. So they're not just going to hand you $1 million and all that kind of stuff, and then you're just going to get the cash, and all of a sudden they're, holding the bag. That part needs to be understood, because a lot of people think they can get 100% financing, but they don't have the assets to go with it. So we say 82% of businesses that fail do so because of lack of funding. Here's the funny part about this unsecured business loan of credit. Most levels of credit, you can only use it for one thing. So there's restrictions on use. With this, you can use it for anything. You can go out and buy fix and flip properties. So you can go out and buy 2 or 3 properties at the auction house and fix them up. And you can use your unsecured lines of credit to do so. Now you have assets because you bought some properties that you're going to fix up. If you're a startup business and you need to buy equipment, we do financing for that. You can use this loan for that as well. And if you're going to do anything, let's say you have a medical bill or something along those lines that came up, or unknown situation that just popped up, you can use it for that. Because normally, if you get a loan, it's for a specific purpose, and they have restrictions on the use. You do not have that here. Here's another thing. You're building business credit. What we have out here today is we have people running businesses that are using their personal credit instead of building business credit. That should be separate. So whatever you do on your personal side, you need to maintain that credit, but you also need to build your business credit. This is a way to do that, because we don't even report to your personal credit file. You're building a credit file on the business side. And this also allows you to get loans of other sorts when you're trying to do other endeavors, such as business loans, commercial real estate loans, and stuff like that. So keep that in mind, because every time you go out and use your personal credit and it's not separate, you don't want to commingle that, because if you have a real problem and you need to go out and borrow, you're going to be over your debt to income ratio, which means you're not going to get the deal. You're not going to get the loan. So keep them separate. We're going to scroll down a little bit more. We're going to talk about funding programs and the differences. So this is just one company. We have over 1,000 banks, private. We use mostly private lenders because they tend to be a little more relaxed in their funding. So this is just one company and what their parameters are. And they have term loans, they have a business credit card program, and a personal credit card program. So a term loan is basically a very short term loan. That means I need $1 million and I only need it for 2 to 5 years. That's what's going to, a term loan is going to be. And if your credit is good, it's going to be in that 700 and above range. You're going to get that loan, and then you'll be able to pay over a period of time. You can get a business credit card, but it'll give you several business credit cards, and it's the same thing. You still need a 700 plus credit score, and when you pay that credit back, let's say you got a $300,000 credit limit, but you only use 10,000. When you pay the 10,000 back, it goes back to 300,000, and then it gets increased. So over time, your credit already automatically gets increased. And then you have a personal credit card program, which is the same as the business credit card. You get a certain credit limit, and then they'll increase that as you pay back the credit card. So then we're going to go down a little bit more. A term loan program, pretty much, if you have really good credit, over 740, 730, this is what your rates are going to look like. Now, if you know anything about interest rates, this changes several times throughout the day, depending on the strength of personal credit, even though they don't report to your personal credit. There's no minimum length of time to be in business because most business loans require you to be in business a minimum of 2 to 5 years because that's called seasoning. They want to make sure you've been in business long enough so they can track your revenue and your business growth. And you have a fixed monthly payment. So your payments are not going to flip flop. It's not going to be an adjustable rate mortgage or anything like that. So whatever your payment is, that's what it's going to be, including interest. And we're not going to charge you an upfront fee to get this loan or these credit cards or whatever we're going to give you. It depends on what your circumstance, what program is going to work for you. Full liquidity, what does that mean? That means that you have access to the funds immediately after you receive the funding. So, and the funding period usually takes between 7 and 15 business days. Most of the times it happens faster than that. But we always tell people 7 to 15 days because they call today and expect to have the money in their account tomorrow. And normally it doesn't work that way. So here are the requirements once again. Personal credit scores need to be at 700 or more. Credit scores in all 3 credit bureaus. So all of the credit bureaus need to be reporting you at above 700. You need to have 2 years personal tax returns showing at least 50,000 or more taxable income. I already mentioned that earlier. Now, one of the things that causes a problem for us as lenders and commercial mortgage brokers is getting documents from the client. So I had a client, he could have had money in his bank account in 2 days, but he couldn't get me 2019's tax return. And I explained to him how to do that. And he never did that. So the lender said, yeah, we'll do it right now. Be aware of that. You're more in control of whether or not your deal goes through than we are. All right, so we're talking about the business credit card program. I spoke briefly on that. That's a very short-term loan, but it's basically using credit cards. 0 to 6% interest rate for the first 6 months. So basically, 6 to 12 months, you're not paying interest. You're just paying principal, which means just how much it is minus interest. After that, then you start paying interest. No minimum length of time of business, which means you don't have to be in business for 2 years or more, which most businesses require for a business loan. Stated income, that means you tell us what kind of income you actually make, and they don't check it. They just check your credit score. And once again, no upfront fees, and it only reports to your business credit and not your personal credit. So they're held separate, which it should be. And you have to have a business entity to get this particular loan or any of these programs. So you have to have a business license doing something. You can't just be Billy Bob and say, "Hey, I want $300,000." You have to have a business license because they're going to check that for sure. So we already went over the qualifications, and you're going to build credit with national A+ lenders. All of the lenders that I deal with are A+ lenders. So that means that we do $100 million loans all the time. We used to sell shopping malls and skyscrapers. I don't know if anybody knows anything about the Walmart building in Manhattan. That was our building. We sold it. So that was about 8 years ago. You can become eligible for future funding options, which means they're going to keep raising your credit score as time goes on, and they're going to maximize the amount of money you can receive. I believe Brother Clarence put my information up there. And if you were to click on apply now, that would take you to a page that would actually have an application. And that application looks like this. And it's not a whole lot of information we're asking for. We just ask you the basic information. And they're going to ask you to upload your tax returns, excuse me, and other documents. Your last 2 years tax returns are going to ask for your FICO score. They're going to there's a page that you have to go to called MyFico, and you're going to sign up for that. They're going to charge you like for a 7-day trial. You're going to pull your credit file. You're going to send us your credit file and also your login information. And that's so we can monitor your login information in case you have any deviations while we're doing the underwriting on your particular loan. And that's pretty much it. So I am going to try to unshare the screen and see if we have any questions at all at this point.
You done with the screen, Brother D? You done
Yes, sir.
sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll take it away. All right, let's see. All right. Okay, Brother D. So I don't see any questions right away. So let me ask you, man.
Mhm.
What kind of things would a person need unsecured business credit for, and why would they need unsecured credit? What's the difference between secured credit and unsecured credit?
It is what it sounds like. Because normally when you go out and try to get anything dealing with business, they want you to start talking about what your assets are. Do you own a home? A lot of people don't own a home. They live in an apartment.
Right.
That keeps them from uh, owning a business. You may have a home-based business that's in an apartment. So basically, they talk about assets. What do you own? That's the secured part. The unsecured part is only talking about, we're only concerned about your credit score and not how much assets you have. We'll talk about business loans and commercial real estate loans a little later because it's a lot more complex than that. But I'll just briefly say it. If you're trying to get $2 million loan to buy an apartment complex, for example, you better have at least $2 million of your own. I'm gonna put it there. You can't come in the game with $0 to get $2 million. That's not gonna happen.
So how is how is me having a business lines of credit? Let's say you get me $100,000 worth of business credit. That's kind of high. Let's say you give me $40,000 worth of business credit, right? Okay. What kind of stuff can I do with that credit? What kind of stuff can I do with that money?
That depends. It's not restricted. So I'm not going to tell you you can only use it for your business. You can use it for personal use. You got to make a car payment. You got to make a mortgage payment. You got to do this. You got to do that. But once you make those payments, you go back to 40 and then it increases to 50, 60, 70 every time you go back to your original loan amount. So that's the benefit. Most of the people that use this program are like people that buy real estate, like real estate investors that do fix and flip. So they'll go to auctions.
Okay.
Cash is king when you go to auction. You can't show up and then say, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my money later."
Right.
You already got it. So you can go buy 2 or 3 properties. And I'll talk about tax liens and stuff in another. That's what me and my wife do. We buy tax liens. And I'll explain that.
Yeah, you need to explain that, man. Yeah, man. You know what? You know what I learned, man? As long as I've been alive, you know what I know? You never know who you're talking to, man. You know what I'm saying? You could be sitting next to the man, and you don't even know you're sitting next to the man. You know what I mean? You never know who you're talking to. Man. But so if I have a line of credit, let's say I have like you said, I get the business line of credit, and let's say I want to go to the auction, right? I want to buy one of these tax lien certificates or whatever. Mm-hmm. Are you saying that having the business line of credit, I would be able to just have already walk in with the check, or do I have to say, okay, give me 5 days and I'll go to the bank and let them cut me a check? How would that work?
They're automatically going to allow you to use a credit card, or you could have the bank that's holding the credit card issue you a check directly to the auction.
Right.
So what happened is you got the money. You're already approved for it, right? And you know how much that is. Maybe it's 100,000, maybe it's 40,000, wherever it is.
Right.
You have the ability to walk in there and say, I want this.
Right.
Buy it, as opposed to the guy on his phone saying, hey, can we get this? And then they got to cut a check days later, because auctions move very quickly.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like you got weeks to get your money together. It's kind of like, how many people go to the supermarket and put all these groceries on the counter and then say, all right, let me go and get my money.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, you're supposed to have your money when you show up.
Right.
They gonna start putting your stuff back, or So you got to show up with money. Cash is king in real estate. Cash is king in business, and you always have to have a reserve of cash. And one of the things people that I mentioned earlier was a lot of people using their personal credit and messing it up because they're
trying to talk about that
and their personal stuff on their same personal credit. That ain't what you want to do.
Brother D, I want to talk about that. I want to get into that. But let me use this example, what you were saying about cash being king. I used to work at the great American company called Foot Locker. Have you ever heard of this company?
Everybody look like referees?
Yeah. I used to work back in the 80s, man, before you were born. I used to work back there in the 80s.
Oh.
Where I used to work there, man, at a place called Foot Locker, man. Off and on, I did work there for them, and it actually is owned by Kenny Shoe Corporation. But anyway, so when I was working there, man, one thing that would happen all the time is that a person would come in and be like, "I want these Air Jordans. I want these Air Jordans. Go get me a size 10 of them." And they were selling so fast that we didn't ever ask, "Oh, are you gonna buy them today?" We just go get them, because usually a person asking for Air Jordans, they knew how hot they was. They would buy them that day. So anyway, when I would come out with the Jordans, every now and then, somebody would say, "Yeah, let me try them on," and they try them on, and then they go, "Okay, I'll be back later with my mom to come pick them up," and I'll be like, "What? Yeah, hold them for me, hold them for me." And I said, "Man, I'll do what I can, but if somebody come in with your size and they want to buy them, they're gone." So the person will be like, "Oh yeah, but nobody's gonna buy them. Nobody's gonna buy them from me, before I get back."
Right.
And sure enough, man, as soon as that person walked out the door, another person would say, "You got these Jordans in a size 11? Yeah. Just, I don't need to try them on. I tried them on at the other store. Just take them right up to the counter, right?" So then the first guy comes back in with his mom. "Hey, I'm ready to buy my shoes now." "What shoes? What are you talking about? We don't have your size anymore." We're gone. Yeah. And then he'd be mad at us because he didn't have the cash at the time. But I tried to tell him, "Man, hey, this is gonna go to the first time." Man, I'm telling you, man, that store got so bad, man. We had a assistant manager almost get himself fired because he would sell people's layaways, man. It was just so bad, man. It was so bad, man. But anyway, man, I just wanted to make a point about what you were saying. But I do want you to get into how people mess their personal credit up, trying to do business with their personal credit, and how the one word we never hear in the Black community, and that's commingling. We never hear that word and why we should stay away from it. So, Brother D, I want you to go into that, man, with your experience and knowledge. Go into, first of all, share with us how people destroy their personal credit, the type of things they do, trying to fund their business with their personal credit, and then on the back end, the dangers of commingling business and personal funds together.
All right. So everybody has a score where they call a FICO score, and that
Correct.
Is from 300 to 850, right?
Yes, sir.
The higher up you are, the better of a risk you're supposed to be, right?
Correct.
But what happens if you can handle your household and you have a certain income, and then you open up a small business? And when you open up your small business, you use your personal credit to do so. But you also have a mortgage, and you got his and hers Corvettes in the driveway.
I don't know, Brother D, you fell off, man. Fell off. Come on back. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened. I tried to get the shared screen off and ended up kicking you off, Brother D. I'm sorry. That's not his fault. That was my fault, y'all. Don't go away. He'll come right back. Let him pop back in. I don't know what happened there. Because I didn't try to kick him off. I kicked off the screen that we were viewing. I was trying to get rid of that. But hey, let's get Brother D back. Let's give him a minute to come back. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Is he dropping knowledge on us? Is he telling us about how to get our business lines of credit? See, man, we all trying to do some type of business, right? And it would be better for us to use our business credit as opposed to our personal credit. That's what people don't teach us in the Black community. They tell you, go to the bank and get a loan for your personal credit. No. You not necessarily might not have to do that. That might be a solution for some people, but for the most people, that's not the correct solution. The correct solution is building business credit, getting business credit. That way, if something happens, it happens to the business. Brother D, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're still a little low, brother. Can you turn it back up?
All right.
I'm sorry, man. That was my fault. I kicked you off trying to move the shared screen out of the way, and for some reason it kicked you off too. So sorry about that.
Okay. I figured that was my cue to just get off altogether because I was about to do that. So.
No, man, no. Anyway, I want you to finish what you were talking about, because you were talking about those FICO scores and how they affect different things. So can you continue that?
All right, so they don't want us to know the difference between a FICO score, how they calculate that, right? But it's between 300 and 850. But what they have now is a Vantage 3.0 score. So that has taken over for FICO. Some companies
Ah,
still use FICO,
okay,
but it actually Vantage 3.0 works in favor of the consumer, people like
okay,
you and I, because they
okay,
look at your bank account also instead of just how you pay your bills.
okay.
So kind of works out for you. Your score can go up just based on this new model, but you still have to do the same thing. Don't use more than 30% of your credit, your total credit. So if
Okay.
you let's say you got $1,000 on this card, $1,000 this card, $1,000 this card. Um, three cards with $1,000 credit limit. Don't use no more than 1/3. That is your credit limit. 1/3. Do not go over that, and you will, and always pay your bills on time. And you will always climb your credit score, and you will never go over none of that kind of stuff. But that's a whole other subject. But a lot of people don't know they're maxing their cards out. They're
Right,
using that as a secondary source of income. It's,
right,
and that's not what it's meant for. It's meant for
right,
emergencies, actually.
right.
So, and this is another thing that I'm talking about. People usually wind up racking up credit score
Yeah,
disasters,
yeah.
and
Well,
then
well, brother D, what are some of the things they usually, if I'm going into business, what are some of the things that I would usually spend that that my personal credit on, and it would cost me in doing the business. In other words, I'm not. It's a bad situation. What are some of the things that people spend their money on? When they get these business lines of credit.
if they get a business line of credit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like in other words, when they start a business, they go, I'm going to start a restaurant, right? Instead of getting a business line of credit, they use a personal lines of credit, and they start buying stuff or doing things like, for example, this is an example, paying their rent with their personal lines of credit. You know what I mean? They might pay their 6 months of their rent with personal line of credit for this space, right? They ain't made $1, but they already paid six. They already 6 months in, but like you said, no income. That's just that's borrowed money that has to be paid back, right? So I'm just trying to get ideas of things that they would do and spend that money on that money that should be spent as far as with just only business lines of credit as opposed to personal credit.
well, if you're using personal credit, you can kind of do whatever you want to do with it. The business line of credit situation is not new, but
Right.
it's not so known.
Right.
Uh, Basically, credit is nothing but leverage. That means OPM, other people's money. You use
Right.
other people's money so you keep yours in your pocket and
Right.
pay over time. That's what OPM is. And then there's OPC, other people's credit. That's when you get a
Right.
co-signer because your credit ain't so great. But it
Right.
still allows, in other words, you have people, when I was a residential mortgage lender, you have people that couldn't qualify to buy a house, but they could qualify to buy a strip mall
Okay. Wow.
because the underwriting is totally different. And,
Ah.
and
Okay.
underwriting, a lot of people hear that word but don't know what it is. Underwriting is the establishment of risk.
Right.
So, um, if you're buying a commercial property, the lender is going to be more focused on the property and its value and the cash flow of that property than they are your personal credit. Whereas when you're
Right.
buying a house, all they want to see is your last 2 years tax returns and how you paid your bills lately. That's it. And then they're
Right.
going to tell you what they're going to lend you after that. So that's the
Right.
difference between commercial and residential. But when people hear real estate, they think it's the same. It's two different entities, two different
Right.
verticals. They're not the
Right.
same. And their underwriting is totally different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And also, brother D, that was some good knowledge. Wait, let me see what your wife got to say. Sister G. Absolutely, brother C. He's telling us what we need to know to get what we need. Most banks won't even give us a loan. Instead, we get red tape. That's true, Sister G. Can't argue with that. Now, Brother D, I know you got some knowledge on that. So I want you to go into that, but I want you to talk about commingling, brother, because see, a lot of our people don't understand how commingling can get you in trouble with not only the bank but with the IRS. Commingling funds can get you caught up. And so, can you please explain what commingling is and why you probably should try your best not to do it?
Okay, so I'm not going to get in depth because it depends
Right.
on what being commingled and how.
Okay.
But briefly, I'm going to say you don't take your personal money to do stuff that you already had it set aside for something, and you don't take your business money to do personal stuff that you had set aside for the business.
There
And
you
you
go.
don't mix your money together, and then next thing you know, both things are screwed up. Your
Right.
personal credit and your business, and then you ain't got no way out.
You hit it on the head, brother. Thank you. Yes. That's exactly what I wanted you, and I wanted to hear from a professional in the field, not just from, a crazy dude in the White Sox hat. I wanted them to hear from a professional person that
Right.
commingling, because a lot of times, us in the black community, we don't understand, we don't even know about commingling, right? We think
Right.
the money is money. I got money here, I need money there, I just move money wherever I got to go. No, you can't do that. You got to try your best not
Don't
to
make
do
it up somewhere else. Don't take
exactly, right.
it
And
from
then
your
when the
rent.
IRS come looking, they're gonna say, "Well, you use that money over here, so now we got to tax over here. We got to do stuff over here. We got to do." You just gonna leave breadcrumbs go everywhere, all around. And so you want to be able to say, "Okay, this is the business. Tax the business as the business. Leave me alone. Let me do
Right.
my personal taxes or whatever." You know what I mean? So anyway, I just wanted to get into that, brother, real quick. Um, and now you were going to go into what your wife was talking about, the redlining at the banks, and how what you were talking about is a good solution for some people. It might not be the solution for everybody. So we're not sitting here saying don't go to the bank. What we're saying is this, what Brother Daniel is talking about, may be a good solution for you, your personal situation. And I'm gonna let him talk about why that might be the case.
Just like anything else, every product is not for every situation. So, like I said, I got over 1,000 lenders um, that I've dealt with over the years. They've dealt with me, and we know the difference between what we do. They know how we do business with them, and vice versa. So they take our files that we send to them, and they actually close our deals without even looking at it because it came from our company. That's because we got a 37-year track record of closing $100 million, $300 million, $600 million deals. So they don't even look at it. They look at it.
Of course.
They don't fine tooth combing, is what I'm saying. So, but you mentioned redlining. I don't think my wife said that. I think she said red tape. But,
You read red tape. I'm sorry. I'm
right.
sorry, brother. But Sister G, that was on me. I misquoted you. Stop. Don't get mad at Brother D. It was me. Sorry about that.
But let me explain for people that don't understand what redlining is. Redlining is a systematic uh, denial of people having financial resources, particularly banking or insurance. Insurance is a financial uh, situation. I was an insurance broker as well. So that's a financial thing. That's a financial tool. And a lot of people, when they hear insurance, they only think about burial. But what does everybody else think about it? They're investing. They're using it as a financial tool, as leverage to build assets.
Right.
It's not about just burying somebody. It's about paying off assets and building income or whatever it is that you're trying to do at the time. I used to sell annuities. That's the same. You need the same licenses as a stockbroker if you're going to
Right.
sell annuities. And I had those licenses. Um, so bottom line is a lot of people just don't. We don't get told the stuff everybody else knows, and that's why they always stay 5 feet ahead of us.
Right.
We don't get told that stuff.
Right.
So that's the reason why I said I don't have any problem by talking about it, because I ain't got nothing to lose talking to my black men and women, because we need to get educated on what's going on. We can't
Right.
keep this because a lot of us had this information and will never tell it to each other.
Or you got to get in their Patreon to get it. Or right.
You got to buy it. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
the stuff I'm talking about, a lot of people probably never heard of,
Right.
or they would have charged you for it.
Right.
But I will do a wealth protection situation, which only my brokers have ever taught. And that's how to maintain what you do achieve as you achieve it, and how to build your wealth.
Right.
That you can build wealth and lose it, like I
Right.
had multiple times.
Right.
I didn't know this stuff
Right.
back,
Right.
when I was a 23-year-old millionaire.
Right.
But I know it now.
Right.
So you got to protect your assets as well as build your assets up. And then you got to make sure you have a legacy if you have children, so that they have something they can fall back on, instead of just buying skateboards and video games.
Yeah, man. Okay, so Brother D, what would an average customer look like, man? I mean, what kind of person would come walking into your office, man? What kind of person would need the service that you're offering right now? What kind of person would need that?
It's usually going to be, well, anybody can walk in, but basically our clientele are people that are seasoned business people. So they've been in business for 20, 30 years, something like that. We do have people that come in, they're just starting out.
Okay.
And they need some consultation. So if you're a startup business, we handle that as well. But most of the lenders that we have, because we're commercial mortgage brokers, they're in the 5 million and up range. So if
Wow.
you're coming in there talking about less than that, they don't even look at your deal.
Wow. Okay.
So here's the other thing that's unique about my company and my partner is we actually do pre-underwriting. So what the hell is underwriting? I said underwriting was the ability to establish risk.
Right.
You go to a bank, you can go to Wells Fargo, Bank of America, put your loan in, and they turn you down. They don't tell you why. They just say, unfortunately, we can't give you a loan. They don't even tell you how to correct it. Right?
Right.
So in my business, because I have relationships with all the lenders that we use, what we do is what we call pre-underwriting. We know what their algorithms are. We know what it is that's going to make this loan go through. And in other words, we're looking for problems.
Right.
We're looking for problems before we send it to the lender. Because once it goes to the lender and they find the problems, it can't be fixed, because they're never going to look at your deal again.
Right.
Even if you fix it. And they ain't even going to tell you what was wrong with it. What we do is find the issue.
Right.
We send it to the client, and then we tell the client, all right, this is what's messy with your deal. So my partner, he worked under 3 presidents. He was a Secret Service agent. He was also a U.S. Marshal in the Financial Fraud Department. So we both have a federal law enforcement background.
Okay.
So that's what meshed us together.
Okay.
So we know how to find problems when it comes to finances and loans and things of that nature. And that's the benefit that we have to our clients and our lenders, because we're finding lenders don't want to keep finding problematic deals. It makes a lot of sense for them to get cream and crap deals. We never get. All we get is problem deals, but we know how to fix them.
Right.
We advise the client, and that's what we charge them for. We charge them to fix their problem that they don't even know, that nobody's ever going to tell them.
Right.
And we give the, and a lot of times, a lot of companies, they don't want us to place their loan with the lenders that we have. They just want a good financial plan or financial package that they can go to the lender of their choice.
Right.
Do that.
You guys do that too.
Yes.
Okay.
Also pre-underwrite that deal, and
So
we explain it.
so if I let's say I have a company that making watches, and I need $1 million to make these watches, but I don't know what I need to submit to a company to Bank of America. You guys will standardize or put it together for me properly so that I can submit it to another lender.
Right. We do that anyway.
Okay.
So what happens is we send a standardized document out, and it's just going to ask for basic information. Once we get that, we're going to send another document out, and it's going to be color coded. It's going to tell them the red flags are red. That means that's a no-go. If it's a yellow, that means could cause a problem. If it's a green, that means you've already submitted it and you're okay. Our job is to show the client what's wrong with their situation and what they need, and we're going to send them another document out to say this is what we need from you to fix it.
Right.
99% of the deals that we don't close is because the client does not send the paperwork that we request. Even if we tell them to go get an accountant, which you can get anywhere.
Right.
And I'm not talking about somebody that took a couple classes. You need an accountant.
Right.
My accountant will send my stuff with a phone call, and it'll be over there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people have a hard time getting these documents, because we have a 98% closing ratio, which means some deals don't go through, but if you send us the documents we request after we've already done the pre-underwriting, your deal is going to get closed.
Right.
And if it doesn't, it's because of you.
Right.
Not because of us.
Right.
And they don't want to hear that.
Right.
Where's the damn tax returns I asked for? Where's that 5-year pro forma that I asked for? You said you had all this stuff. Where's that? I've worked on people's deal for a whole year. And they still shuffle around trying to get the paperwork, And we still work with them.
Right.
And after a certain point, we don't, and that's why we charge a fee up front, the pre-underwriting fee I was talking about.
Right.
Most brokers, they don't do what we do. They're not pre-underwriting anything. They're just paperwork handlers, and they're sending stuff off like most lawyers.
Right.
All they're doing is plea deals. They're filling out the paperwork, and they don't even show up in the court either. And the client doesn't. So I know the game because I went to law school. So I'm not a lawyer, by the way. I don't want nobody claiming I'm a lawyer. But I'm just saying. But we do a little bit more. We try to. We actually want to close a client's deal. I don't like walking away from a client and not telling them what was wrong with their deal and not helping them get it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what? I have another question, brother. Okay, so I come into your office. I want to start my business. I come into your office. I say, "Oh, I need $50,000." Okay. When I say that, what do you tell me?
I'm gonna tell you how much skin you got in the game. How much of that 50,000 do you have that you've saved up, built up, or worked up?
Zero.
If you got zero, you may have some options, but your options are very slim because everybody's walking into a zero situation, but that ain't how banks look at it. Banks, they want you to have a certain amount of capital of your own, so that they can see that you're serious about your own business before they stick their neck out there, because you're not the only borrower.
Right.
They got I was a lender.
Right.
I don't just have one borrower. I got 100,000 borrowers, and they're all coming here for money. Right. So if I take a loss, I'm taking a major loss. And
Right.
if they don't have a down, let me give you an example. Everybody that ever try to buy a house might understand this. How much money do you have to have minimum as a down payment, and why on a house that you want to live in? How much?
10%,
What percentage? What percent? 20%.
20%.
Why? Why is it 20? Because 20% you're gonna have to pay mortgage insurance premium, or it's depending on where you live in the country, it's called MIP, mortgage insurance premium,
Right.
or it's called PMI, private mortgage insurance.
Right. Yeah.
Same damn thing, different
Right.
name, depends on where you at. But that's the 20%. Does that cover you if you default on your mortgage? No, it covers the lender if you default on your mortgage. And that's why they require you to come up with 20%
Right.
down payment,
Right.
or pay the mortgage insurance added to your with your mortgage. That'll
Right.
be added in there,
Right.
over time. But if you show up with 20% on a mortgage, you good. You ain't got to pay mortgage premiums or any of that stuff, because that's
Oh,
only covering a lender anyway. A lot of people
wow.
don't know that, and a lender is not going to tell you that.
Wait a minute. Wait. So you saying the PMI only covers the lender?
That's it. MIP and PMI, mortgage insurance premium, which is MIP, or primary mortgage insurance, only covers the lender. It has nothing to do with you.
So
You're
it covers
paying
the
his
lender.
damn insurance. So if you go into default, he's good. That's what it does.
wait, wait a minute, brother D. Wait a minute. You kicking so
I
much
was
knowledge,
trying
man.
not,
It's spilling
I was
over the
trying
top.
not to go into all of this.
No, but it's good. Because people don't know. No, people don't know. We out here paying for these houses, man, and we don't know. So we need
Right.
to know. Okay, so I'm just. I know you can run at 1,000 miles an hour, but I'm trying to slow you down, brother, to a walk, so the people can understand. So you saying that the PMI only covers the lender
Right.
on
Not you.
insurance. So what you're saying is that covers the lender's expense, but they still gonna look at you. You still on the hook for the balance of the mortgage. Holy smokes! So
Even
they
if they
already got their money
foreclose
back.
on you, even if they foreclose on you and you paid the damn coverage to protect them. Okay.
Oh
So
man,
we saw the banking crisis that we had in 2007 and 2008, right?
correct.
Who did they bail out?
The banks.
Not you. The bank. Why are we surprised about this? They've always done that. They said, "Oh, we hope they give some of that money back." Back to who? They took it from you the whole time. You.
Ay, ay,
And
ay.
these cats that's on the golf course every week.
Holy smokes, man. You
Why?
mean you mean that if I pay that mortgage, and then 3 years later or 4 years later I default on the loan, the bank is covered, but they still gonna look for me for the rest of the loan. Holy
Yep.
smokes.
Yep.
I never knew that, brother. I never knew that.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
That is
Yes.
incredible. That is
And
incredible.
I'll tell you something else. I had a guy, he had a dentist office I was working on, and I was really trying to help this guy out. My partner sent me to him. My partner's in California. I'm in the ATL.
Okay.
He's like, man, I had so many problems with this guy. He always backs out, blah, 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 blah. But now he's really in trouble. Can you
Okay.
help him out? Because I'm not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. He says the guy to me, bam, I got a lender, got a problem to solve. I got the situation covered. I can find a lender in and out. I
Okay.
can find a solution in and out. I be telling people, oh yeah, it might take me a couple of weeks. So, because lenders call me and send me deals, so because they have a
Okay.
problem with stuff. So, this guy he still didn't want to do the deal, and he was in Illinois, and anybody that's from the state of Illinois, and you own a business, if you default, they will come get your property that day.
What?
They don't have to wait 90 days and go through the foreclosure process and all that stuff.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know it. And we told them, but this is what we do. The lenders ain't going to tell you all of that.
Right.
They're not going to tell you we'll be over there tomorrow to get your shit.
Right.
Come over here and get you.
Right.
Marshals will be out there putting your stuff on the curb. So
right.
But they're not going to tell you that. So this is the knowledge that I want to bring to the table. I don't want to spit all the stuff out at one time.
Right.
It's just so much. I have so much stuff I can put on the table, but I want people that look like us to have some knowledge.
Right.
So that we don't get railroaded. We've been getting railroaded forever. And we need people that look like us that have that knowledge to start putting it out there, because most of us don't.
Okay.
A lot of us have it, and they won't.
They just won't give it. Or they make you join a Patreon. Hey, right. I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
I'm a J Fudd, a millionaire. I own a mansion in the yacht.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, man. You know, one of the funniest things I saw, man, was two millionaires going at each other on the lead attorney. I thought that was so funny. I said, man, look, who really cares? It's like when you see like one of these millionaire athletes, man, and they run into a little financial snag. You're like, so what? You got $10 million in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even have any. You really don't have no sympathy for them, and it's kind of bad, but it's the reality, man. You're like, man, I got real problems here, and you mad because you lost $1 million doing this or that. You know, it's crazy, man. But yeah, that was the funniest thing I ever saw, man.
It's the reality, but it's the mentality part that I don't understand. What's that all about? Are you still trying to be on that European madness? I think most of that is what it is. You know, when they get a couple of dollars, they start acting like, I need to do what Europeans do and act the way they act. Do this.
I don't know, brother. I think that it's just that I think they get so caught up in the legend of them or you can get caught up in yourself so much that you just get beside yourself. There's a good book called it's not The Legend of Gilgamesh, The Epic of Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh.
I heard it.
You heard it? Oh man, it's a good book, man. It's got a lot of lessons in there. But it was written like about 4,000 years before the Bible. But it's got a lot of stuff that's in the Bible is in this book. It's a very weird situation. But that set to the side, there's the main character of the book. His name is called Gilgamesh. He's a king, and he's the king of this city. You know what I mean? And so he's the biggest. He's the strongest. He's the best at everything. He's the most best good looking. He's the best at everything, right? And so, therefore, man, he whatever he does, he goes, who can stop me? Nobody can stop me. He got so bad, brother, that when people started getting married, he would be waiting in the bedroom to take their virginity. Yeah, man. He got that out of control, man. He got that out of control. And it just got to, I'm not going to give away the whole book, but basically the people had to pray to the God, like, man, hey, this dude is out of control. We need help here. Because nobody can stop him. Nobody can do nothing with him. But I'm just saying that's how crazy he got off of his own. Like he was always say, "Who can stop me? Nobody can stop me. I'm gonna just go do what I want to do." He'd go just do what he wanted to do.
I wanted to ask you if you read this book, but I don't think this is a good platform because I'm Islamic. I don't think this is a good platform.
So am I, brother. So am I. Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, I don't want to say it on this platform though.
Okay. Well, we discuss it later. Yeah, we discuss it later because then people would think we're pushing the religion and we're not doing that. We're pushing information. But man, we'll talk about it later, Brother D. Because what I always wanted is like you, I want to teach our people. I don't care what your religion is or
Mhm.
what your background is. We were just trying to give you information to help you live a better life. That was the
Right.
whole point of us starting this channel, was to just talk about things just like what we're doing now. Just cats sitting down talking about how can we live a better life. If you in this position, how do we get you from this position to that position? That, my friend, that is value. Value is being able to move somebody from one position to the next position, either emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Being able to move a person, that's value.
I agree.
So right, so if you can tell them, hey, I can take you from this financial position and put you in this financial position. Just listen to me. Just follow my directions, and I can get you there. Then that brings value to these people. So that's a
Right.
good thing, brother. I'm so glad that you said, hey man, let's do this. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah,
But
we have to set up another time too, and go down the narrative of other stuff because there's so many subjects that I can cover on a
yes,
lot of
I can see that.
things on a law enforcement side, on the insurance side, a weapons side, which I don't like talking about too much.
No, but we need this information, brother. We need this information. But I agree with you. You can't give it all in one day, man, because everybody
Right.
will be their minds are gonna be blown. So we got to do a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. But
Right.
I definitely want people that are looking at this, because maybe they're not tuned in right this second, but they
Mhm.
will come back and they will look at this. So we want to get as much information as we can about this unsecured credit as possible. Now,
Right.
the difference between personal credit and unsecured credit. What is the difference between personal credit and unsecured credit, brother?
Personal credit is only based on your ability to pay bills,
Okay,
and your job, basically.
okay,
So if you ain't got no job, your credit is going to plummet.
right,
That's what's going to happen. Or if you don't have a subsequent level of income. So people with low credit scores usually are being underpaid or they're not working at all.
okay,
They have very low credit scores. Um, Secured credit is secured by property, usually like real estate or something
okay,
that has value or something that is accumulating cash flow.
okay,
So this is why somebody can own or inherit a corner store, but it's creating cash flow every month. So it
right,
has value, even though their
right,
credit is screwed up.
right,
So they can get a business loan,
right,
but they can't buy a house.
right,
If their credit score is down here somewhere, but they can go borrow against this place over here
right,
that they inherited or whatever, and because it has cash flow, because
right,
that's the difference between a residential mortgage and a commercial mortgage. Um, Commercial is more based on the value of the property and the cash flow. It has not as much to do about your personal credit score.
right,
You buying a house, it's all about your credit score
right,
and your debt to income ratio. That's the difference between how much debt you have and how much money you make. That's
right,
what the debt to they call it a DTI.
right,
We got different ratios. We have debt service coverage ratio. That's what we use in the commercial world. So we're trying to establish value. We're not really looking at your personal credit. We're looking at the valuation of the property and the income.
right,
And that establishes, like I said, in the underwriting process, that's what we run through. And we're establishing risk. So if we got a foreclosure on you tomorrow and take your, strip mall, we already know how much we're gonna get
right, yeah,
towards what you owe.
right,
But if you lose your job today or tomorrow, we know
yeah,
that too. But
right,
it's not going to have as much value.
right, right. Okay, so what's the difference between? Okay, you just talked about secured credit.
Hmm.
Why would I need unsecured credit if I'm starting a business? Why would I need unsecured credit? And
Unsecured credit. I'm sorry, I don't want to break it up.
no. Well, brother D, let me ask you this question better. Why would I need a line? What is a line of credit? What is a business line of credit? And why would I just not get a credit card or whatever? Or what's the difference between a business line of credit and just a business loan?
It may come, okay, a business loan. Let's say I've been working on your loan for 30 to 60 days, and that's how long it took me to close your business loan. The day I hand you the check, 30 days later, you start paying.
That's on a loan.
That's on a loan.
Okay.
No matter what kind of loan it is. Now,
Okay.
an unsecured business line of credit means that you have this amount of money that you can borrow. So you get $100,000, you only need 2,000. You're going to use the whole 100,000 because you need to buy supplies for your store or meet payroll. You're only in the hole for $1,000. You paid $1,000, and then you're back to your 100,000 credit limit. So it's called leverage, but you still didn't go into your personal bank account.
Right.
Business owner. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's always there available for you without you reapplying for it. You have already, and every time you use it, they automatically raise it up. You start at 100, and now you're at $1.50, but you already paid just the amount that you used. You used this amount, and then now it's back up here, and they upped it. So you would establish a good credit risk as a business owner at that point.
Okay, so do they so when I go in and get that $2,000, like you said, I'm using your example, I got $100,000 business line credit, but I only take 2,000. How do I get that? Do I just walk in and say, I just want $2,000, write me a check, or do I have to get underwritten for that again?
No, you've already been approved at that point. So, like that list that I showed you, you got business credit cards. So it may come in the form of credit cards.
Okay.
So it's just like a revolving credit card.
Oh, okay.
Back.
Okay. So it's like a monthly bill you probably would have to pay. But if you don't borrow it, you don't have to pay. Is that true?
Right. But if you go get a business loan, they gonna hand you a check.
Right. And you gotta start paying.
Use that money or not, you gotta pay whatever that is every month.
Okay.
And what happens and here's another problem that people don't understand. I always tell clients when you get a business loan or you get a commercial real estate loan, like if you want to build a ground up construction situation, that's two different loans. A lot of people don't understand that. And I don't want to get into that because it's more complicated.
Right.
So what I do want to say is a lot of people underestimate what they actually need. Right? So let's use the $100,000 example, but let's call it $100 million as though it was $100,000. If you go borrow $100,000 and you get approved for it, and you underestimate the cost of what you actually needed to finish your project, you know how hard it is to go back and reborrow your deficit. Right. It's what they call a deficiency. You already have an outstanding balance that hasn't even been paid off yet.
Right.
And now you got to turn around and try to borrow the part that you missed.
Right.
It's very difficult. I have clients send me deals like that all the time.
Wow.
Always.
Wow.
We got to go borrow their amount that they.
Right. Got to refinance it into the new loan, huh?
You know what I mean? Well, it's not that simple because a lot of times it's for example, it might be a building that's being financed in terms of new construction. So new construction you don't get that money all at once. It comes in what they call draws. So you get a bid here, maybe $30,000 here, and then they'll have inspectors come in and make sure everything is up to code.
Right.
And then they'll go up to the next level of a draw. And when you complete that, they'll tell you,
all good.
So this just keeps doing that until it's all complete. And then what happens is when it's all complete, the final inspections are done, everything meets code, the city gets notified that we're going to do permanent financing and convert this construction loan into a permanent loan. And then they have monthly payments based on the actual value of the property after it was built. So it wasn't worth nothing because it was nothing. Real estate is not worth anything. Let me put it this way. Land is not really worth anything unless you build something on it.
Right.
And when you build something on it, it's got to be generating revenue for it to really have value.
Okay.
So that's what we always tell people. If they're going to get a construction loan, make sure, if you buy a house, you can build it from the ground up, but it's not really gaining value because it's no revenue. That's the difference between an asset and a liability. A house is not an asset unless you're making money off of it. That's the difference.
Oh, man.
If it ain't putting money in your pocket, it's not an asset. It's a damn liability.
Can you say that again, brother? Because a lot of people think, I bought a house, I got an asset here. They do. I mean, they do. I mean, I guess just because the bank will lend you money on it, on the equity, they feel like they got an asset.
It ain't even your crib. Until you pay it off. And when you look at it, you didn't pay 2 or 3 times. If you don't know how to pay a house off, you didn't pay like 2.5, 3 times what it was that you actually borrowed.
Right.
Now, how many people don't know when they do get a mortgage that their loan is packaged into portfolio?
Right.
So you went to Bank of America, you got your loan, and 3 months later, you get this letter that says, "Oh, send this over to company. Your payment is the same, but we don't collect your payments anymore."
Right.
So that's what happens. That means your deal got packaged and put into a portfolio. They take hundreds of thousands of loans and they package them together and they resell them on the black market.
Yeah.
The stock market, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. Or to the Chinese. Yeah.
Wherever the highest bidder.
Yeah.
You might still be paying Bank of America because they're the servicing people that you got. But they don't own your loan no more.
Wow.
Stole that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They don't have the capability to hold on to those.
Brother, if that's the case, why are they out there telling people that owning a home is an asset, or why are they telling people that if that is the case? What you're saying is true, where it's not even an asset unless it's making money for you. Why are they telling people that?
Because home ownership, or should I say real estate, is the biggest asset that you can have. They're not making any more planet Earth.
Right.
So the more of this shit that you own, the more leverage you have and the more value it has. And that's the part that people don't understand. That's why everybody's over here buying up all the real estate. You got the Arabs over here buying the hell out of the United States, the Chinese, everybody else, because it's value. They're not building any more United States. This is it.
Right.
They're not building any more planet Earth. This is it. And the more planet Earth you own, the more value it has. I don't even give a damn if you own a cave. If you own 3,000 caves, it's going to be more valuable than 3,000 bags of chips.
Right.
Any day, because it's shelter. and somebody's going to have a need to have a business or shelter.
Right.
Everything needs shelter, no matter what. So
Right.
that always grows in value. A car does not grow in value. It depletes itself as soon as it leaves the lot. And
Right.
it's not an asset. And it takes money out of your pocket every time you got to get the repairs done and this, that, the third. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket whether you work or not.
Right.
Liability takes money out of your pocket whether you work or not. They don't understand the difference at all.
Right.
They see the difference, they just don't understand it. You need to
Man,
have more assets than liabilities. That's the bottom line.
bro, you need to put a class together, man. Just a simple couple hour class, man, to just teach young cats coming out of high school this stuff, man, because they just don't know, man, and they get caught up in the the glamorous life, like Sheila E said, and they get caught up in trying to right. They get caught up trying to live the glamorous life, man, because they have no direction. They don't know, you know, um, the difference between an asset and a liability, and why you should step that way or step this way. They don't really know. You know, like we were talking about business, and most people will use personal funds in their business. They will. I mean, unnecessarily. They may be able to get a business line of credit, but instead they'll use their personal funds, not knowing that it can make a huge difference on it. Just on the taxes alone, it can make a huge difference for them.
Right.
But I want to ask you, brother. Now we talked about having a 700 credit score and up credit score, right?
Mm-hmm.
I come into your office. I have, uh, like you said, maybe I own a little laundromat, and I want to buy another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a 700 score.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys help me get my credit score up, or how does that work? Or you give me direction to how to do that?
We can. We used to do uh, stuff like just working on people's credit and stuff like that. I have a third party company that I have a contract with, so they handle that. Commercial mortgages is very complex. That's what we do. It's not like going in and getting a consumer loan where you fill out a 3-page application and you walk out with a damn check. That ain't
Right.
what we do.
Right.
It's a lot more complicated. It's a lot more computations that we have. We're in the math and communication business. It's a lot of numbers.
Right.
If the numbers don't make sense, the loan ain't going through.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're just like accountants. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we're numbers people. But to answer your question, if you wanted to do that, I mean, you got to ask yourself a question. If you buy a house, I mean, that's a shelter, but what is your philosophy of use? What is your purpose? Are you going to get into another house and rent that one out so it can pay for the other one that you move in? Um, so a lot of people have to look at things a different way instead of I'm just going to consume this product and it's not going to be, and I'm hoping that it's going to be worth something. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but
I'm just saying, because you know what? A lot of times our people are not, because they don't get taught about credit early enough. Usually, by the time they're ready to make a move, they decide they want to make a move on something. They don't have the proper credit set up. You know what I mean? And so, if they want to get involved with you, and especially starting their own business, I will want them to know, well, what to expect, or if they have a credit issue, what should they do? Like if you saw that they have a credit issue, do you guys like you said, you got a third party that you would send them to, or how would that work?
yeah, because we don't have time to do credit monitoring because it requires monitoring their credit and
Right.
that, and it's a whole bunch of stuff you got to do. You can really clean your credit up in a short period of time. The only thing that clears credit up is time and money. If you have bad
Okay.
credit,
Okay.
you gotta have money if it's bad because you got to pay stuff off.
Right.
That's the reason why it's bad
Right.
because it wasn't getting paid, and you need to have time to do that. And that's why I was talking about earlier. If just the loss of a job can knock your credit score down tremendously
Right.
because the income is not there for you to
Right.
pay the debts that you already encumbered. So, um, but if you get another job or you start a business, you got to think about how you're going to do that because you can increase your credit by not having a damn job and having a business instead. Where you work your own hours, you create your own situation, you have your own product or service,
Right.
and then you have a legacy that you could pass on. You can't pass the job on to no damn body. You can pass the
Right.
business on to your children, your wife, or whoever you decide to do.
Right.
You can't do a job like that.
Right.
Who the hell
Right.
passed the job on to somebody? That's it.
Right. Except slaves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's about it, brother.
The job got passed back to us.
uh, now, let me ask you, man, in your heart, if you, in your mind, do you think this is something that our people, like the average ones of our people, I know they probably wouldn't be able to just walk into your office and ask for $1 million line of credit, but do you think it's something that you could put them on the road to doing? Like you could take somebody in. Let's say I just graduated from high school, and could you take me in a year's time, set me up for at least $100,000 line of credit, or show me how to set myself up to be on the road to doing something like that?
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
yeah, because
Because
oh, go ahead, but go ahead, Brother Z.
first of all, you mentioned a very young person like getting out of school or whatever.
Yeah,
Hell, they ain't got no damn credit,
right,
but they have to build credit, right?
right,
So you have to teach them how to build credit, what the dynamics are, what the percentages are that they need to maintain so that they don't screw their credit up as they're building it up, and what not to do.
right.
Because they give these kids credit cards like left and right time they hit college.
Yeah,
Everybody sitting, and what do? They run them up.
right,
So the credit score is screwed up. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know what to do.
right,
But yeah, it can be fixed. But we don't personally do that. I'll send you some information of some of the companies that do that we have contracts with because we don't have time to be.
right,
What we get is credit reports. We don't try to fix people's disasters anymore. We used to do that back in the day. We don't have time
yeah,
because the stuff that we do is very arduous. You know, it takes
right,
a long time to put these packages together. We're on the phone with attorneys all the time. We're talking back and forth to lenders and clients. Your
right,
credit score is the least of our worry,
right,
you know, and
right.
fix it. But we do have an apparatus for that because a lot of
Okay,
people ask us that. Like I said, I have quite a few third-party companies, and we just send them to them. And
okay,
then if they want to do business with us after they got their credit straight, then we can deal with them. I'm not saying everybody has to have perfect credit to deal with us. It's just that the nature of our business and the scope is totally different because we're dealing
right,
with multimillionaires, and I ain't met too many that had bad credit scores.
right, right.
But not saying that people that are trying to build it that we can't do stuff with, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, but most of our loans are, like I said, it's over $5-10 million. That's
okay,
kind of like on a low ball.
okay,
We we do smaller stuff to that, but because a lot of people just have small businesses, so you know We let them know we can do your deal. We'll tell you
Okay.
what you need to do. Please don't come in there with a shoe shine box and you try to make me shoe shines. Seriously.
I want $100,000 on the shoe shine box.
Exactly. We can help you on that.
I hear you, man. I hear you. No, man. I just think that you got a lot of good information, man, and but a lot of our young men, especially black young men, man, they're stepping out into the world, man, without any of this knowledge, man, and unfortunately, they get themselves caught up in the consumerist um, ideology that says it's okay that you're 99.9% in debt based on your income, as long as you look like you got something. You got a Benz in the driveway, and you know what I'm saying. As long as you got a 3-piece suit on, you as long as you look good, that's all that counts. That all that debt you got, that's don't worry about that, because everybody's like that. And I want us to start thinking like, no, the debt is not what's important. The income is what's important. And how much income can we keep, make, and renew? That would be better for us to focus on that as opposed to how much we can spend, right? How much we can make and keep would be better for us to focus on than how much we can spend and consume, in my opinion, just to look good. They got a saying out here, brother. I don't know if they have it in the ATL. They got a saying out here in LA: "Fake it till you make it." You know what I'm saying? Where you just try to look good and and everything like that. You know what I mean? Fake it till you make it. But most people fake it till they finally just fall off the wall. You know what I mean? Very rarely does a person fake it and then make it. You know what I mean? But that's the saying out here in LA, man. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to get. I would like to have something, and Brother D, I'm gonna push you to do this, man. I'm gonna push you to do it. I'm gonna push you to set up a class, man. So at least by the summertime, we can have a class, or you can have a class that promotes um, credit to guys that just graduate in high school. Because see, what's gonna happen is, man, if we keep promoting that situation, eventually those guys are going to get to college. Eventually those guys are going to graduate college, and who they going to look for to get involved with setting up their own business? You and your, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a minute to get there, but you have to put all the bricks in place first. Like you were talking about building a house, you got to put the foundation in first. Don't put a good foundation in, you can't do anything from there. So. Right. But yeah, man, I think the information you got is so good, man. It's so poignant for this time.
We gotta. Go ahead, brother. We gotta rescue some of these old niggas. I don't want to say it like that, but some of them are rescuable and some of them are not.
Right.
But I don't think we should turn our back on anybody. But some people are just not. You can't rescue them. They're right. But I think we've been around long enough to know the difference between who's rescuable and who needs to be guided in the right direction before they get disrupted.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to do. But folks that are just over the bridge, they
right. Yeah. Some people you can't do nothing for them, man. You just can't do nothing for them. They got their mind made up that they're gonna be have a bad experience, and that's it. So nothing you could do. But a lot of our people are just innocent bystanders in this sub. I want to say it's not on the surface. The war is not on the surface. It's underneath the surface, and they don't see it, and they being sucked into this consumerism of the American society. And not understanding that, whoa, that's where they want you to be. They want you to be where you got to go to your job. They want you to go where you got to be. So you ain't got time to think about the kind of lifestyle you live in or what's going on, or you ain't even in a position to fight because you got to go to work. You
Right.
can't even save yourself because you got to go to work. So that's the mentality that they want you in, and we want to say no. You don't have to be in that mentality. That's an option for you. If you want to be in that way, that's an option for you. Our parents fought and they fought and died so that you could have this option. So now you got an option out here. You can learn how to build your credit. You can learn how to deal with your credit, deal with finance, deal with income right when you're walking out of high school, so you can learn, oh, okay, if I want to do something, then I better follow these steps. Right now, Brother D, they graduate in high school and college. Let's might as well even say college. They graduate in college, they have no clue of what they should do. The first thing they should do, whether they should set up a Roth IRA, they should set up an annuity, whether they should get life insurance. They have no clue. There's nobody there to tell them, okay, brother, this is what you should do. This is where you should go from this point on. So I would like us to try to tackle that and step in that gap at some point, and try to put that. So I'm gonna stay on your head about that, Brother D. That's down the road. Right now, we're talking about unsecured lines of business credit and why somebody would need unsecured lines of business credit. What is an example of an unsecured business line of credit, brother? What would be an example of something like that?
As far as the use, or
Well,
just
as far as just setting it up. In other words, how would what like if I let's how would I set that up? And if I did set that up, it would be through my commercial bank, right? How would I set that up? And then, like we were talking about earlier, would it be just a check, or would it, oh, you said like a credit card or something like that? But
it's going to
yeah,
be. It depends on what. First of all, like I said, I have several lenders that do the same thing that I send deals to. So you could just get a check, and it could be an unsecured line of credit. It could be in the form of credit cards, where you get business credit cards. Maybe
yeah,
just
but when it kicks in, brother D, when it kicks in, like so let's say let's use your auction example. They're having an auction. I go down to the courthouse, and they auction off this property for tax lien. Okay, so I need $10,000 just to make an offer, right, or whatever, right? Just throwing out numbers. So anyway, I go to the bank and I say I need a check for 10 grand. Make it out to U.S. tax attorney, whatever, whoever. And so then I get the check. Now, once I got that check in my hand, how do the payments come up, and how do they let me know that I got to start paying on that back, or do I get a statement that tells me that, or what? How does that work?
okay. So we're talking about two different things that sound like the same thing, but
Okay.
they're not.
Okay.
So the credit cards is just what that is. It's a credit card. It's either
Right.
personal credit card or it's unsecured line of credit using a credit card. Just like you would your ATM card or whatever. If you got $100,000 limit on that card, that's what it is. So you
Right.
can go down there. You don't need no check and say, "Hey, here's the 10 G's on this card."
Right. Okay.
That's when your payment starts.
Ah.
Later.
Okay.
But if you're an investor and you're trying to flip the property, then you're probably going to sell it and fix it up anyway.
Right.
So you ain't worried about that. You fix it up. You already have a buyer. If you did fix and flips like I did, I always had a buyer before I even bought a property. And I already had my contractors, whoever was doing it. So that properties leave me like that. I don't hold on to properties very long.
Okay.
Because I've been doing this stuff for so long. So but the bottom line is, if you got a term loan and somebody actually handed you a check, that would mean that you got a check. Let's say it was $400,000. You used it for whatever you used it for. Maybe not all of it. Maybe you just deposited in your bank at another, like your local bank, and you decided, well, I only need 10,000 here and 20,000 here to do this, that, and the third. That's fine. You're only gonna pay back what you use. You're not gonna
Okay.
pay back. But if you went and got a straight up business loan for $100,000,
Uh,
they're gonna hand you $100,000 check. 30 days later, you're gonna be paying whatever that amount was
right.
for that period of term. So a
Right.
term loan is something that you would get an actual check for, and it's
Right.
going to be short term. It's going to be between usually 2 to 5 years, depending on what kind of term loan you get. I have lenders that'll go further than that. Most of our loans go out to 20, 30. We can do fixed rate. We're going to do adjustable mortgages.
Right.
Most of the big deals that we do, people are not trying to stay in that loan for more than 10 years.
Right.
5 to 10 years. They're trying to get in and out of that.
Right.
I also have lenders that do what's called a bridge loan, and that sounds just like the damn thing that I just said, a term loan. It's very short.
Right.
They'll go up to most of them will go up to like 2 to 5 million. Very short term. You're not gonna have a loan. They're lending money to you for like 6 to 18 months
Wow.
at a very high interest rate.
Oh yeah.
They don't expect you to, hold on to that loan, and they're only going to give you a certain amount of money.
Right.
So you're not going to get like 80% if you were buying like a house you were going to live into, a residential mortgage. You would get like
Right.
80% plus your 20% down payment.
Right.
It don't work like that with these, and they're called bridge loans, or they're also called hard money loans.
Yeah. That's
You're
what I
going to
used
get
to call. Yeah.
55% to maybe 65. Maybe one of them might go up to 70. But guess what? You still need that other percent that they're
Right.
not lending you. And it's short term, which means
Right.
whatever you're going to do when we hand you this money, make sure we get our money back during this period of time. And
Right.
it's 6 to 18 months.
Right.
So that's and I don't do a whole lot of those because a lot of people don't have the money to get into those kind of loans.
Right. Right, man. Hey, man, that's bro. You got so much information, man. I'm like, I'm like, man, what to do, man. I'm so glad you came on here, man, and you came on here and broke it down, man, about this business lines of credit, and now I know the difference between a line of credit and a loan, um, and just a bunch of different stuff, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm not gonna try to make you go on for hours and hours and hours, brother, because you pretty much articulated it so well. I mean, we we really, what I'm saying. You made it very clear. Um, so let me ask you this, brother. Do you have any other things that you want to go into, or you want to just wrap up what you were saying about the business lines of credit, or where do you want to go from here?
I do want to wrap it up because actually I invited a couple of my brokers on here too, so I don't know if they're on here or not.
Okay.
And they're in different parts of the country, so I don't know if
Okay.
they're here. Um, but what I do want to say, if you're going into business and you need funding, what you need to do is be honest with yourself and be honest with the person that you're dealing with, because um, most financial transactions, even if you go in Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or whatever bank that you may have, you're going to be dealing with a broker.
Right.
The person that you walked in the Bank of America to is not the broker. They're going to take your application and it's going to get handed over to a broker that they have a license agreement with. That looks like me. And then we're going to deal with that whole situation. You might be paying them every month, but
Right.
we're the one that closed your deal and got it together. So have all your details together, have all your paperwork together, and listen to the broker, because we're going to ask you for a lot of stuff. It's not a little bit of paperwork. When we get done with a commercial mortgage package, it looks about this thick.
Wow. Okay.
It's thicker than the phone book.
Okay.
People get overwhelmed when we start asking them for the documents that we need. The unsecured line of credit stuff is 2 pages. I popped it up on the screen. All you need is a good credit score. That's it. 2 weeks from now, it's in your bank account.
Okay. Okay.
Just don't lie on your credit. We're going to check it.
Okay. 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 Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, Brother D. You know, who should come and see you? What kind of people should come in and do business with you or look to do business with you?
We take anybody. I don't have all the offices I used to have. I used to have 6 different offices, so I shut them down quite a few years ago. That's why I have brokers in different parts of the country. They all have their own businesses as well, and we just collaborate on different deals. I help them out with stuff that they do, but basically, if somebody wanted to contact me, they could contact me at the phone number that was on the stuff we put up earlier.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put that in the description. So,
and that's the best way. And then because we don't have a bricks and mortar office anymore, since the internet is taken off by storm, ain't nobody walking in the offices no more. So
yeah, but Brother D, what I mean, I guess let me clarify what I'm saying. What type of person would necessarily need your services? Would it be a person trying to start their own business, or would it be somebody coming? You know, because you spoke about if they go into Bank of America and try to do this in Bank of America, and in the end, Bank of America is gonna slide it to you anyway. Why don't they just come straight to you and save themselves a bunch of money that Bank of America is gonna charge them just to service the situation?
It could be anybody that's doing a startup, for example. Like I said, most of our clientele is up here. They own a lot of high end stuff. But if you have a startup business or you're trying to get into business, we'll talk to you. You know, let us know what you're trying to do. We'll consult with you, and we'll tell you what you need to do. Because a lot of people never owned a business before; they don't know where to start.
Right.
So,
that's the point.
We're going to save you some time if you come to us, but don't come to us expecting us not to charge for our time, because we're working on stuff that people are paying for our time because our time is valuable.
Well, Brother D, you need to put an ebook together, man, a guidebook, so that something they can read before they even get there. They can kind of see what they, you know, kind of what they would need and what you're looking for, man, because I see you got all this good information, man, and it's hard to drop it in a 2-hour lecture. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to drop because it's so connected. And it's so connected with so many other things, man. It's hard to really talk about. I got to think about what I'm asking you. You got to think about how you responded. I mean, it's hard to do it in just the 2 hours. But I think we gave a lot of good information, and people, it's a start. You know what I'm saying? Somebody looking to start a business, but they just don't have the income. They just don't have the business credit, or they don't know how to establish business credit. At least they got a place where they can go. Maybe they can't. Maybe they're not doing the business that you want to do, but at least they could get some information and maybe even get some help packaging their situation together so that they can get a smaller amount, maybe 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, whatever, right?
Right.
Anyway, man, I want to thank you for stopping by, brother. I want to thank you for giving up this good information. I want to invite you to come back, maybe in a month, maybe 30 days, to talk about another subject that the people need to hear about, especially our people. They need to hear about, and you know. And I just want to thank you, brother. And I'm gonna keep on you about putting the ebook together and putting all of this stuff, get that class together. I'm gonna stay on top of you, brother D. You know how I do it, man. I'll stay on top of you. And so, anyway, man, yeah, man. Any parting words, man?
Yeah, I've been trying to say this since the very beginning. Everybody needs to like and subscribe right now. Whoever's been on here, like, subscribe, and keep a lookout because I have a lot of content that I can put out here. Me and brother Clarence kind of put this together kind of in short notice.
Yeah, man.
So,
but it came together really nice, man. It came together really good, really nice and professional, man. I like that. I like that. You know.
okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
I'm
about
sorry.
it, man.
Okay, brother D. I'm gonna let you go, man. I appreciate you, man. You and your wife, man, always trying to do the right thing, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna let you go, and thank you again. You know I'll be in contact, and I know you'll be in contact with me. So we'll catch up later on down the road, man. And thank you as always, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, sir, for allowing me to be here.
All right, that was brother Daniel. What did you think about that? What did you think about that, man? Holy smokes. He gave you about, let me see. If he would charge somebody for that information that he probably could have got about maybe $500 an hour to charge you to talk to you about something like that. I mean, when's the last time you walked into Bank of America? They sat with you for 2 hours, telling you how to get yourself together so that you could get a $5 million loan, unsecured business loan. I mean, brother D is, my hats off to him for what he's doing for us. So I appreciate him. And what do you think? Do you think this is worth it? I mean, we're not asking you to sign up for the Patreon to get this game. This man gave it out of his heart to just do it just because he wanted to see our people do better. You know, obviously he can't do it for free. Nobody can do nothing for free. Even Jesus had a job. So nobody can do nothing for free. But at least the man is giving you some good game. He ain't just giving you, lip service. He's giving you some real good game. All right. That's what we want to do here on Let's Talk the Better Black Life, man. We want to try to get you guys to get some information that's going to help you, give you value, not just sit here and talking to you and talking down to you, but talking to you and straight at you to motivate you to get your life in a better place. Because this man didn't have to come over here and do this. He wanted to come over here and do this. And, he didn't charge nobody no money for nothing. The information he gave you, that's 30 years of information, and he could have went into a lot more. I slowed him down because I was trying to ask questions that I thought the average person would ask. He really got information for serious people that want to do some serious business. But I was trying to slow him down to just talk about people just coming out of high school, people just coming out of college, because I want him to address that information so that even a person coming out of high school could be taught how to set their business credit up, set up their personal credit, set up their bank account, set up everything so that they can win. See, the problem in the Black community with us is nobody comes along and tells us how to win. We go out there, the rappers don't tell you how to win, they tell you how they win it. You know, these singers and songwriters, they tell you how they win it. These athletes, they come on these shows and they show you how they win it. They don't show you how to win. They don't sit you down. There's in the NBA, they have a class called the Rookie Symposium, where they sit all the rookies down and they show them all the different situations that could possibly happen to them, where people are going to borrow money from them, or people are going to come and try to invest their money and invest it in bad business ventures, or women are going to come and try to, mismanage them. They have a class called the Rookie Symposium. Every rookie has to go through that class in the NBA, right? I think the NFL has a similar class, and MLB has a similar class, right? Where every rookie has to go through that class. Okay, we need to have a class like that for these young black men. The Rookie Symposium for black men, where they go through and they have to learn how to deal with their credit. They have to learn how to deal with income. They have to learn how to buy houses. They got to learn. They got to learn all of this stuff. But most of them, when do they find out? Right? They're getting married or they get in a long-term relationship. They go out there and they get involved in a bad business deal and they lose, getting their head bumped. No, 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 no. We don't want you to get your head bumped no more. Because the Asian people don't let their people go out there and get their heads bumped. The Asian father takes the Asian son and say, I bought this. I got see all them Negroes going in there at Fish Shack eating those fish dinners. That's what got you into school. That's what got paid for your college. That's what paid for the house that you lived in, the nice neighborhood you lived in. Them Negroes going in there buying that chicken. That's what paid for it. And so you don't sell it. You keep it. As long as they keep going in there eating there, you keep it. Caucasian man do the same thing. He say, look, I got this mall here. You see this mall? The Negroes, every Friday, they're going to be in there. When they get paid, that's when you're going to blow up. So that's when you're going to have an extra security guard on duty on Fridays or on the 1st, because they're going to come in there like gangbusters and go in and spend all their money. Same thing with the Asian people in the swap meets. They're going to say, hey, on the 1st and the 15th, we need extra security here because they're going to be in here trying to shop everywhere. They teach each other, hey, this is how we make money. This is how we make money. No slight to our white friends or our Asian friends. I'm just telling the truth. Black people do the same thing. The ones of us that's selling street narcotics, we do the same thing, right? They tell you on the 1st and 15th, our people gonna be through here, so we gotta re-up. We gotta build up our re-up, right? Okay, everybody doing business around us except us. The good people that's trying to be good people, we need to learn how to do business. We get so caught up. Instead of learning how to do business, we get caught up in our prayer books and on our prayer rugs. No, 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 no. The path is here. Are we going to take the path? Are you going to take the path? Learn what you can. Learn what you can. And don't be so arrogant to say, I can't learn. I'm too smart because I got 10,000 followers on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. I don't need to learn it. I don't need to listen to nobody. Listen, man. There's so many athletes that had so much money and they broke because they didn't have the humility to listen. They didn't have the humility to listen. If you got the humility to listen, then you can sit down and listen to somebody take you from one place to another place. But if you can't listen, man, you ain't gonna go nowhere. Our young men are out here, man, they flying blind. They don't know what they're doing. And they're getting taken advantage of. And unfortunately, our young women, man, are pushing them into consumerism. Our young black women are so consumed with consumerism, man, that they will break any. They are the greatest asset to the commercial Caucasian society, black women, because they will spin you into oblivion. In their minds, your love is based on your ability to spend money on me. A lot of times, I'm not saying all black women, but a lot of them. So our young men don't know. There's nobody there to tell them, hey, bro, no, hold on. That doesn't mean you don't love this woman just because you ain't gonna spend all your last dime on her. That's no. That's not right. But there's nobody there. The fathers, where are our fathers at? The fathers are not in the house. So there's nobody to tell this man, hey, what are you doing spending $2,000 or $3,000 on a date with one woman? That's crazy. That's crazy. Or buying this woman Louis Vuitton bags and she ain't did 15 or 20 years in a marriage with you. She ain't bored just only your children or your children. She ain't washed your clothes and fed you meals, nursed you back to health when you were sick, saw you made a mistake and still loved you and still tried to work it out with you. What are you doing spending that kind of money on a woman like that? No, no, no. The time for us to be stupid is over. You ain't got no excuse no more. Me, Brother D, other people, we coming in, man. We coming and we going to educate you. And if you turn us away, it's on you. It's on you. You turning us away. You could be going right now. Go to the live stream we did here. I know it was short notice. But the live stream we did here, it should have been at least 1,000 people in here. At least for what this man was telling you, it should have been 1,000. He could have been teaching a school for what he was teaching. If you go over to some people's programs, some millionaires' program, they're gonna charge you for that information. The man gave you that information for free. Not for free. I guess you had to spend your time to listen. But some of these people on this YouTube platform, man, they're going to charge you for just what he told you there. Just what he told you for free. They'll charge you $500 an hour for that. And I ain't hating on nobody. I'm just saying, go where you think you're getting the best value. If you think having somebody charge you $500 for the same information that this man just gave you is good, then go on and do it. I mean, you got $500 to spend, but why not spend $500 with this man? And he gonna give you all of this stuff he already gave you, plus he gonna package you up. You walk out of his office, you gonna be able to walk anywhere and get unsecured credit. But we don't think things are valuable unless you got to spend a whole bunch of money on it. I'm telling you, man, we on this channel, we're going to take all your excuses away from you. You ain't going to be able to say, well, I don't know where to send my son. I don't know where to send my son because I don't think he needs to listen to what I say. And I'm not talking about the people that's in here now. I'm talking about the people that's going to watch this later. You folks, now you got some place to send your boys. Now you got some place to send your young adult men and say, hey, man, check this guy out. Check these guys out. You may not agree with everything they say, but check them out. Who's going to give you the best bang for your buck? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to help you turn your situation around? We ain't gonna pour a bucket of water on your head. We're gonna just tell you, hey, you made that mistake. Okay, now it's time for you to get your ish together. And this is how you get your ish together. Which one of us ain't made no mistake? Besides a certain millionaire I know, which one of us have never made no mistake? And which one of us is willing to get with the people to try to help them? I'm not charging you a dime for nothing. And I got so much game, man. I've been so many places, did so many things. I know so many people. You would never know. If I was to put some of the video I got of some of the people I've been with, you would never you would never know. Because I ain't out here to try to toot my horn. I'm trying to help you and us. If I'm helping you, I'm helping me. Right? If I help you, I'm helping me. Right? Because we in this together. No matter how much America wants us to think that we're separate, every black person is separate. We're not separate. We're together in this. You got guys like Greg Adams that'll tell you, "Oh no, I'm separate. I'm a good Negro." See, boss, I don't. Okay, well, let them tell you stuff like that, or other ones out there, the Tommies or whatever. Let them go out there and say that. The rest of us got work to do, man. We got work to do. And it's not about race. It's about, like I said, America is just like if you go in a hospital and you go into the emergency room, that's America. It's an emergency room where people need help now. Who needs the most help? Us. After we get done helping each other, then we can help other people. I've got no problem helping anybody of any other race. But hey, I don't want to see, if you see a doctor going to an emergency room, they don't pick the person with the headache. Hey, you with the headache, come on past the person with a broken arm and past the heart condition person. You come up here. They don't take that person. They take the person with the worst condition. Who in America is in the worst condition? Us. Like they say, They're giving $6 billion to the Afghan refugees. You can't even get a crime bill for yourself. You can't get nothing for yourself. Good old Joe took all these millions of dollars that, I know you didn't want me to say it, but Donald Trump gave the HBCUs billions of dollars, billions and billions. Good old Joe just knocked that down to $2 billion. If, and there's a lot of ifs in there. Good old Joe did that. Now, I'm not saying I'm a Republican or a Democrat. Malcolm X said Republicans and Democrats are their wings off the same dirty bird. I'm not saying I'm either or. What I'm saying is, if you're going to be voting, you should vote for the person that's going to do the most for you, not the person you like the best. Forget who you like. But see, black people, we always go with who we like. I like this person. Yeah, but that person ain't no good. They ain't doing nothing for you. Yeah, but I like them. No. Deal with the person who you got the most leverage with when it comes to politics. Liking people has that you like your people at a barbecue, at your family reunion. I like this person. I like that person. When you in doing politics, man, it ain't got nothing to do with who you like. It got something to do with who's doing the most for you and who you got the most leverage over to pull the strings for you. Let's talk about this Victim Olympics real quick. You know what? I'm not going to do that because I like my man's. He did a good live stream. So I'm gonna leave it at here. I'll start another live stream in about half an hour, and then I'll get into a lot of this other stuff. But I want people to look at his live stream and be able to say, man, wow, that was a good live stream. It was pretty good. What do you guys think? If you like what we did, give us some good comments. Like and subscribe. This brother D, he's going to have his own channel in a little while. He's going to leave me in the dust, which I want him to. I want him to get his own thing together because he needs to. He got a lot of information, like myself. I'm not threatened by him at all. He's got so much good information. I push him. He'll probably push me the same way. So it's no threat, no shade or nothing. I know he's going to have his own show in a minute. He's that talented. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think. Did we cover how to obtain business lines, unsecured business lines of credit? Did we cover it? Did we at least get your taste buds lathering about how to do it and how to start your own business and why you should have unsecured business lines of credit? If we did, we did our job. We did our job. But we need you to tell other people, other young men, to come to this channel because that's what our focus is. You're typically young black men or older black men, whoever, black men who have the enough humility to be able to listen to other people and try to, set their life up right. But we trying to start them out young because there's nobody there right now. The rappers ain't telling our young men how to live good. They're showing them how to live bad and die easy. They're not showing them how to live good. Same thing with our sisters, post-sisters out there, like Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and that ilk. Unfortunately, those sisters are stuck. So many people eating off of them, they can't stop doing what they're doing, even if they wanted to. They stuck. They're not showing our young sisters, how to live good. They're showing them how to rack up, bodies and, children by different men, taking themselves right out of the marriage game. Anyway, let me stop. Brothers and sisters, I appreciate you as always for stopping by. Thank you. Give me about another 30 minutes. I'm going to start another live stream, and then I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I want to thank Brother Daniel Maiden. I want to thank his wife, Sister Glenda, and for them for coming on and doing their thing. I appreciate them as always. And y'all stay safe. And please share, like, and subscribe. All right. Peace.